Bogotá, Colombia, incentives for sustainable travel. The capital of Colombia, Bogotá, is located just north of central Colombia and is the country's largest city. The city has a population of 7.5 million people, with around 99% of the population speaking Spanish, the official language of Colombia. The city's prominence derives from its diverse multicultural and somewhat modern architecture. It thrives with greenery from its many parks and recreational areas, created to improve the happiness and well-being of its residents. The city of Bogotá had been striving towards an efficient, sustainable transport system since 1998, and the first steps were taken to achieve this goal. Colombia's cities, including Bogotá, have the highest rate of rich to poor income inequality out of all the cities in Latin America, which makes the population of people living in slums some of the poorest people in the world. Out of a population of 48.3 million people, 23 million people in Colombia are poor, whilst another 6 million live in extreme poverty. Over 300 kilometres of bicycle paths were implemented around the city, stretching from the slums and suburbs into the central business district. This has subsequently boosted bicycle use by 5 times the amount it was before, with an average of between 300,000 to 400,000 trips made by bicycle per day in Bogotá. A large proportion of these trips are made by people in the southern poorer areas. This scheme has helped integrate societies in Bogotá and has weakened the divide between rich and poor. Metro doesn't exist in the city, better yet replaced with the Transmilenio, a bus rapid transit system which is affordable and diminishes long travel times implemented. The sustainable transport strategy was a fraction of the cost of the then proposed elevated highway scheme. The bus rapid transit system is one of the world's most advanced and has reduced traffic in Bogotá by 40%. The buses have dedicated lanes and numerous raised platform stations in the centre of a main avenue where people can access the main network system which connects to the city and the most populated residential areas and school work districts. The secondary network connects to the main network with parks, attraction centres and housing. The 1,300 buses hold a capacity of up to 160 passengers that are transported throughout the city. Users pay the bus fare at the station rather than paying the driver on the bus, which is another time-saving feature of the bus rapid transport scheme. When the bus arrives, the doors open at the same time as the sliding glass doors of the station, which is also another time-saving measure innovated to reduce consumers' travel times and increase efficiency. Equality throughout is also encouraged through the Transmilenio, as free rider buses operate from the lower income communities in the suburbs and outskirts of the city into the main Transmilenio stations. The ticket price remains the same no matter the distance for these commuters, which gives the lower income residents the opportunity to afford sustainable travel. 1.9 million people are travelling by Transmilenio per day, which makes the bus rapid transport system one of the highest capacity systems in the world. Less negative externalities, such as pollution, are produced through the sustainable transport scheme, and carbon dioxide emissions have been reduced by over 60,000 tonnes per year. The highest capacity the transport can take, the more affordable the tickets become. The city of Bogotá also participates in the Car-Free Sundays proposition. This leaves roads and car parks empty to be used for recreational and leisure purposes. The public streets have been used as a means to gather communities for free exercising classes and sports. The pedestrian-friendly roads are a huge incentive for people to become healthier, encouraging a more beneficial and safer city. Curitiba, Brazil. Similarly to Bogotá, another city that is achieving sustainable transport development is Curitiba, Brazil. They adopted the bus rapid transport scheme implemented in 1974. It was the first of many such systems it's adopted around the world. The buses also have dedicated lanes which get people to their destination faster and also reduces congestion. A standard articulated bus can hold up to 120 people, whilst the double articulated buses move up to 250 people. 2.3 million people use the bus rapid transport system per day, 500,000 more than the Curitiba's population, which suggests that people are making more than one journey on the system. Beforehand, the city was dominated by industry and trade, now transformed into a modern, sustainable city, mainly by its investment in sustainable transport systems like the bus rapid transit. Alongside the dedicated lanes on major streets are passing lanes, which allow for express services. This also reduces congestion levels, as there is no build-up of vehicles. Unlike Bogotá, however, these lanes are surrounded by vast greenery and public parks in the city. This allows more recreational space for the city's residents to meet up, which promotes a much healthier social living. The raised tube-shaped platforms were designed to allow people through who have prepaid their fare. This allows for people to get off and out of the station in under 10 seconds, much shorter dwell times than in other transport stations. There is also a disabled access with large, extra-wide doors, which makes it much more convenient for disabled people to travel as opposed to using the underground or conventional buses. The reliability, comfortability and convenience of Curitiba's bus rapid transport, alongside other schemes such as the limited car parking availability in the main city centres, induces a much more sustainable way of living for the city. Mayor Enrique Peñalosa in 1998 made the city's transport issue a priority project. In previous years, organisations of people had made proposals to solve the many serious problems derived from the current public transport situation. However, these often came to a dead end. It was only when Mayor Enrique Peñalosa came to power that the idea of a mass transit system came to life as the only remedy to the problem of mobility in Bogotá. From the mid-80s and 90s, there was no real public transport systems in place to serve as an alternative to private travel. Instead, rich entrepreneurs dominated the industry with expensive, unsustainable means of travel, sending the city into a crisis. A main objective for the implementation of bus rapid transit was to transform the population's private vehicle use into public transport use. Now, as of 2014, 30% of total public transport use in Bogotá is bus rapid transit, whilst public transport sector demand has undoubtedly expanded. As a result of the Transmilenio successes, a new project, a $2.5 billion metro line supported by the World Bank, is expected to carry a further 7% of the total public transport demand in Bogotá. The Transmilenio's environmental benefits for the city is undeniable, alongside a new tree planting campaign which sees an approximate additional 800,000 tonnes of CO2 reductions in the year. Air pollution in Bogotá has been scrapped after the implementation of the Transmilenio. Bogotá reported the reductions in the following: a decline of sulfur dioxide levels by 43%, nitrogen oxides by 18% and particulate matter by 12%. One of the most important aims for the city of Bogotá was to create a safer environment for its residents. By reducing emissions in and around the city, the population has a decreased risk of health problems such as bronchitis, emphysema and possibly even cancers, thus increasing their quality of life, which was deemed unsatisfactory before the Transmilenio scheme. Finally, by providing a more affordable and integrated transportation scheme, Bogotá is achieving their aim of creating a more socially diverse city, allowing social classes from everywhere, including from the slums of southern suburbs to the modern CBD of the city, to converge, leading to a greater treatment of equality for all people. Respecting the diversity of its citizens by introducing the Transmilenio scheme has decreased crime rates and built a more efficiently operating, secure and significantly improved city. Thank you for listening.